Okay, so tonight we're covering the next Kleeneze training webinar, which is personal development. This is the 8th in our series of 8. As you can see there, we start off with all about getting started. The first 2 or 3 there are about your catalogues, a bit about team building, and then the last 2 or 3 are the like softer skills, if you like. What can you do once you've learnt the basic skills of how to put catalogues out, how to sponsor people into your business. What are the other skills that you can learn that will help your business grow? And personal development kind of encompasses all of that. So what is personal development? Well, a good definition I've read, which I kind of agree with, is it's a process of self-education where skills and knowledge chosen by you are learned in order to improve the quality of your life. So what's that all about basically? So self-education, you do it yourself, you can choose when and the speed and so on. It's not like when you were at school and you had to do it whatever the teacher said. And also the subjects that you learn, you can choose. So it's great for motivation because you're not having to do maths and French if you don't like maths and French. And the purpose of it, you know exactly why you're doing it, because you're trying to improve the quality of your life. So I always find personal development is a really kind of easy thing to do because, as I say, you do it yourself at your own speed, you choose what you want to learn, and there's a really good goal at the end of it. So as I said there, it's not like school, and you can decide what to do. So in the last module, we talked a bit about the fact that when everybody joins Kleeneze, we all start at exactly the same time. Sorry, not exact. We all start with exactly the same opportunity. We have the same catalogues, we get the same pay, we get the same commissions, we have the same products, everything's the same. But some people will succeed and some people won't, and the difference is the attitude that those people have. So, if attitude is so important, how can you make sure that you are one of the ones that succeeds? And my view is, by taking on a program of self-education, you're giving yourself the best chance possible. Jim Rohn said, formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. And that's a great way of looking at it, I think. I want to tell you a little story about me. Yep, good point there, Eddie. Don't quit. That's a really good... in this business especially, I think, as your business grows and grows and grows, if you quit, you come back in again, you have to start all over again. So, I want to tell you a little story that I hope will kind of illustrate this a little bit. When I went to school, I thought I was reasonably bright. I got a few O levels, got 4 A levels, went to university, but to be honest, after a year, that kind of freedom and lack of structure and self-discipline that you need at university caught me a bit short, and I dropped out. But when I was doing my O-levels, I got an O-level in French. I got a grade B, which I was quite pleased with. My German wasn't so good. I got a grade E, just above a fail. But 15 years later, I went back and I did those O-levels again. And I got a grade A in French and a grade A in German. And I just wanted to ask, do you think it was because I had a sudden skill in languages? I'd suddenly kind of taken on a new diet that meant I could pick up languages more quickly? And of course the answer is no. It was simply that I worked harder because I wanted to. What actually happened was the company that I was working for, and this happened twice, was taken over by a European company. This European company, in one case, was a French company, so I thought it might be really good for my career. If I could speak French, there might be some opportunities for going to work in Paris or something like that. So I took French GCSE, and because I wanted to do it, I worked hard at it. I got a grade A. A few years later, exactly the same thing happened. The company I was working for was actually a German-based company. I had some opportunities to work in Germany, so I thought, a lot of the Germans speak brilliant English anyway, but I thought I'd like to be able to speak German because that might help my career. So again, did an evening class, got a grade A, and it was just because I wanted to do it, I worked hard at it, and because I worked hard, I got the results. And that's a really important point, that kind of linking the wanting to do it, working hard, and then getting the results. That's what kind of personal development helps you do. So, quick question for anybody out there. I want you to ask, typically, why do you think people join Kleeneze? have a little think. Obviously you've got your own reasons, so maybe you've got an idea of why you joined if you've got some team member. Yep, money's a good point, Eddie. Usually it's money, and it can be, varying different reasons. Sometimes it might just be 50 quid a week. Sometimes, someone might have lost their job, they've got a mortgage to worry about. Might be a lot more than that. But it's usually because they want to earn some extra money. But it's not usually because they really enjoy delivering catalogues and that's what they wanted to do all their life. People don't go to university, get a degree in catalogue delivering and come out and look for a career in Kleeneze. It's normally that they want to do something to improve their lifestyle. So let's look at you, whoever you are listening to this, either live tonight or on the recording. You started Kleeneze. What was the lifestyle that you were looking for? It might just simply have been not having to worry about when the bills come through the door. Or it might have been that it wasn't the bills so much, but you were wanting a little bit more. You always wanted to be able to buy a new car, or you wanted a nice holiday. And if you're not at that point yet, if you've started doing Kleeneze, you've started doing the catalogues, but you haven't yet achieved the lifestyle that you were looking for at the time, what I wanted to ask you a little bit about is, what do you need to do to achieve that lifestyle? So I'm going to walk you through a little bit here, which I'll go through slowly because it gets a little bit complicated, but hopefully it will all make sense. So to get that improved lifestyle, whatever that might be, the nice house, the car, the holidays, all three, whatever, you need some results from your Kleeneze business. So you need some orders from your customers. You'll need to build a customer base of people who order from you regularly. You might need to recruit some team members to help you build this residual income and the bigger incomes that can lead to cars and holidays and bigger houses and so on. So those results that you need in order to deliver that lifestyle. But in order to get those results, you can't just click your fingers and get team members or orders or customers. You need to take some actions. And what are those actions? Well, sometimes it's as simple as deliver some catalogues. You need to get delivering those catalogues and collecting them again. If you're looking to recruit team members, you need to start speaking to people about the opportunity. So you need to take some actions. The results don't come on their own. Now, before you take those actions, you need a kind of a mindset change. And that mindset is simply the right attitude. The attitude that I can go out, I can deliver these catalogues, if somebody else can do it, I can do it. So to get that attitude that you're going to take the actions over and over again, because it's not just delivering the catalogues once, you need to put them in and out, in and out, in and out regularly on a good routine, so your customers know you're reliable and so on. And it's the same with speaking about people. You can't just speak to somebody once and think your business is going to grow. You're speaking to people about the business every day, every week, every month for years. And so you need a good attitude to realize that you need to repeat those actions regularly, persistently and consistently, we say. Now, that attitude, the right attitude, the if they can do it, I can do it attitude, is often driven by your philosophies on your life. And I'll explain a bit more about that in a moment. But your attitude can be good or bad. Good attitude is, I don't care if it's raining, I'm going to get out and deliver those catalogues anyway. Bad attitude can be, I don't really feel like it today, perhaps I'll leave it till tomorrow or the next day. And all of those attitudes can be determined and affected by your philosophies on your life. So, just running back through that again, if you've got some good, strong philosophies, and that leads you to having a good attitude, that good attitude will lead you to take some actions, put your catalogues out regularly, speak to people about the opportunity regularly, and so on. And those actions, persistently and consistently achieved, will deliver you the results which will get you that improved lifestyle. So, to get the lifestyle, we need to basically have some good, strong philosophies. As I said there, the philosophies of your life will lead you to good attitudes, which will lead you to take the actions, which will produce the results, which will give you that lifestyle. So, a quick question, how do you get yourself a good philosophy? Here's an interesting one. I wonder if you can go and just buy it from a shop, Comet or Argos or something. Sorry, Eddie. Yep, the good or bad attitudes. The good attitude will lead you to taking those actions regularly. So putting your catalogues out regularly, even when the weather's not good. The bad attitude will lead you to keep putting it off and procrastinating, and you end up not doing it. And the longer you leave it between putting your catalogues out, the harder it is to go back out again the next time. So, how do you get a good philosophy? Well, it's determined by, absolutely, Eddie, you beat me to it. It's the books that you read, it's the CDs that you listen to, very closely related to that, and it's the people you associate with. So, you can educate yourself. You can get yourself a good philosophy by reading books. By starting a program of personal development. Sounds very grand, but basically it means by reading a book, and then reading another one, and then listening to a CD, and then meeting some people at a Kleeneze meeting and asking if you can sort of sit down for a cup of tea with them and associating with successful people, you're then getting yourself into a program of personal development. And who can start a program of personal development? In the words of Jim Rohn, anyone. You might be able to tell from this, I'm a big follower of Jim Rohn, a student of Jim Rohn, actually, I should say. He said, the greatest value in achieving success is not the money you make, but the person you become. And that's really useful. If you think of 2 millionaires, let's say, one millionaire has kind of worked hard, he's learnt some skills, he's developed a business, he's got some great ideas, the business kind of becomes very successful, and he becomes a millionaire as a result of it. So that could be one guy. Another guy could be a millionaire just by winning the lottery. If they both then lose all of their money, the first millionaire hasn't really lost anything because he's still got all of those skills that he used to build his first business. He can do it all again. It's the person he became that is valuable to him. The person that won the lottery ticket, well, he's a bit stuffed really, because he's got to just go out, start buying lottery tickets again and hope his luck comes in twice. So, how do you start with your program of personal development? So, a suggestion would be read 10 pages of a good book every day. So by that I don't mean kind of Harry Potter. Novels are great, but for entertainment, if you like, often, rather than education. But if you read 10 pages of a good book, and I've got some examples in a moment, even with 115 days off, that's an awful lot of time off, that's 2,500 pages a year, that would be 10 good books. If you read 10 good books, that's a great start to your self-education. Or, if books aren't your thing, if you find it harder to do that, listen to 10 minutes of an audio CD every day. A great time to do that is in the car, because if you're driving along, you can kind of absorb the messages and the education while you're driving along. So it's kind of it's a great use of time that you might not be able to do very much else with. No, Eddie, this is mostly stuff that I've just picked up from Jim Rohn and Kleeneze meetings, that sort of thing. What else do you do? Okay, Eddie mentioned earlier the people you associate with. I heard a great quote the other day. If the 4 people you spend most of your time with are broke, you will be the 5th one. And I guess that's true. It might sound a bit harsh, but actually if you're spending time with people who don't have any ideas of how to make money, or don't have any, it's difficult for you to kind of break away from that and come up with brilliant ideas of how to become wealthy. But if you're spending your time with people who are either implementing their own ideas of how to become wealthy, or their own, or have already done it, and you're spending time with them, you're going to be picking up ideas, maybe not ideas of do this and you'll be rich, but have you read this book? Have you listened to this CD? This is a great film to watch. Lots of things like that, which will then challenge you to become more educated in your own personal development. Okay, there's a few little philosophies that I really like to kind of share. Mean a lot to me, and as you kind of go through your own personal development, you will hear philosophies that just kind of well, I can't think what it kind of ring a bell with you, if you like. So, one of my favourite ones is take responsibility for everything going on in your life. It's quite easy to blame things for something not happening. You can blame the weather. You missed your bonus because the weather wasn't very good, so you couldn't go out and pick your catalogues up. Or you didn't get a pay rise because the company isn't very good at giving pay rises, or whatever it might be. It's always easy to find someone else to blame. But if you take responsibility for something, you become a lot more in control. Because basically, as soon as you blame someone or something else, you lose the ability to do anything about it. If you say, oh well, it's pointless me doing anything, my boss won't give me a pay rise, you've basically already decided there's nothing I can do, and it's all up to my boss as to whether I get a pay rise or not. But if instead of that you say, well, I'm going to take an evening class, if I want to get a pay rise, I have to make myself more valuable to this company or to another company. So I'm going to take an evening class, learn some more skills, and if this company won't give me a pay rise, I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to go to another company because I've learned some more skills, I'm now more valuable, I can find a better job. By taking responsibility, you can do something about it. And this whole thing about being able to do something about it yourself will reduce your stress. If you can get rid of the stress, if you're stressed out because your boss won't give you a pay rise, or your kids are always yelling at you, or whatever it might be, you're blaming somebody else and you just can't get rid of that stress because there's nothing you can do about it. If you take responsibility for all of those things, you can decide what to do about it, and the stress just evaporates. Here's another good one. Success is a few correct decisions repeated every day, and failure is a few errors in judgment repeated every day. So, the point here is you don't succeed overnight by making one good decision, and you don't fail overnight by kind of one sort of huge major error. Examples could be, if you could decide one day, I'm going to put my 50 catalogues out today. Maybe you're just doing 50 catalogues a day. You decide you're going to put them out, and every day you decide to put your catalogues out. Excuse me. If you do that every day, persistently and consistently, you will find more and more customers. Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. Consistently and persistently, either way, failures or successes. So if you do your 50 catalogues every day, every morning you get up, put them out, sort of rain or shine, you will gradually build a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger customer base, so that you can earn as much as you want from those customers, as long as you're happy to continue delivering catalogues to them. But if you decide one day, maybe I won't put the catalogues out today, I'll try tomorrow instead, gradually your customer base gets smaller and smaller, and you don't notice it straight away. But what happens is, over a period of time, you suddenly realise that you're missing out on bonuses, you're not getting as many customers, your customers don't order from you as often, and it just becomes a consistent or persistent problem, or success, depending on which way you've done it. And finally, this is a big one for Kleeneze or any other kind of network marketing business. Help enough people get what they want out of life, and you can have anything you want out of life. And in terms of Kleeneze, that's normally, if you're starting to team build and you've got team members in, it's very easy to start thinking about how they can help you get to your next bonus level, or how they can help you qualify for a conference. And if you start thinking about how they can help you, you start focusing on yourself, and you start advising them to do things that might not be in their best interest. You might sort of say, oh, well, if you just make sure you get an order in before the cut-off date, then that might get you to gold. Whereas actually what might be better for them would be to wait until the start of the following period and get a really good start, so that they can have a really good chance of getting up to 13%. It's very easy to think of yourself, but that's quite short term. If you help somebody get to 13% and they get really motivated, so they're putting extra catalogues out, as a result of that you'll get a much bigger bonus in the following months, because you've got a motivated distributor, rather than somebody who thinks, actually the only reason he wanted me to put that order in was so that he could get an extra bonus, and so they become demotivated, they stop working very hard, and suddenly you lose a good distributor. Okay, I talked about reading 10 pages of a good book. Eddie, I remember from a couple of seminars ago, webinars ago, I think you'll remember most of these books. You've probably read them all anyway. But anyway, these are some books. If you're not sure what to start reading, here's a few to get you started on. Jim Rohn, I've already said he's one of my favourite speakers and authors. Building Your Network Marketing Business. This is a CD, my first one I ever got after I joined Kleeneze, and it's my favourite one. I still listen to it regularly in the car. A great sort of book of, CD of philosophies all about network marketing. It's not Kleeneze specific, it's network marketing industry. And another good book from Jim Rohn, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. This is all about goal setting, investing your money and your time, and some good life philosophies. That's a great book. I'd certainly recommend that. And another couple very similar books putting across the same story: The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson and The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And both basically saying it's not the big decisions, it's the little ones that you make every day that make the difference. Good book by Dale Carnegie. It's quite an old one. It's now 1936 or something like that, I've got a feeling. The gist of this is, be nice to people. It's amazing what you get in return. And that's just a great kind of way to approach life anyway. But have a read of that book, and it's got lots and lots of examples and stories. Not kind of, if you're a bit of an internet whiz and you like things to be all about computers and so on, it's not about that at all. It's kind of about, Dale Carnegie in the time of kind of old industrial steel magnates and American businessmen, that kind of thing. But the principles are all fantastic. And one of my favourites, not necessarily for everybody, but it really works well for me, Darren Hardy, Design Your Best Year Ever. This is basically planning your year, set your goals at the beginning of the year, breaking those goals down into monthly, weekly and daily steps. So if your goal is to qualify for the next Kleeneze conference in Dubai or wherever it might be, and you know that to get there you need to, find a new goal distributor, and that with your upline you work out that in order to get a new goal distributor you probably need to be bringing in 4 new team members a period, let's say. So you can then break that down in, okay, if I need to bring in 4 new team members, how many leads do I need to generate? How many people do I need to speak to in order to find a team member? And if that's, for example, 30 leads, and you want to do 1 a week, you need to make sure you're generating 30 leads a week. And if your leads are mainly coming from leaflets, for example, you should be able to work out how many leaflets gets you 1 lead. And so you can soon get to the point where you can say, okay, every day I need to put out 250 leaflets, for example. And suddenly, instead of thinking about, oh my god, how am I going to get to Dubai, you're just thinking, can I go and put 250 leaflets out? Sorry, my phone's ringing here. I'm just going to call that back in a minute. Right. Where are we? Okay. So, having thought about how you can improve your philosophies, can you make a start today? Well, it's too short on this really for me to kind of design a program for you, but I kind of hope it's just inspired you to make a start. Those books are readily available on Amazon. Eddie, sorry, I'll come back to that in a minute, mate. How can you make a start on Amazon, or getting those books, or on the Bids web shop, for example? That's another great place to find that information. But if you want a bit more detail on any of those books or any of the points that I've talked about, then get back to me, drop me an email, give me a call, send me a text or whatever, and I'll get back to you, and I'll kind of let you know where I would go in your position. Okay, so that's the end of this webinar. I'm just going to stop the recording in a minute so I can answer Eddie's question. Next week we go back to the beginning again. We've finished the personal development, which was the 8th of the series of 8, and we're going back to getting started.